Okay, I am back. Here we are again trying to beat Dragon Quest. I am not gonna lie, guys. I am. This game is tougher than I thought. It may be even harder than Fantasy Star 2. I, and that's no joke. I'm like thinking, like, what is going on here? Okay, just gotta assess the situation. All right, there it is. Ah, so great. I was really thinking about I was really thinking about like why RPGs didn't really work back in the day. Like it took a while. And how was it that Final Fantasy VII was the one to actually do it, to actually make JRPGs mainstream? Well, I would hear some people say, well, there was Ultima and the very first Elder Scroll games and stuff. And I'm thinking, well, those are RPGs, but those RPGs were more about the character you were building and bringing onto the adventure as opposed to the story. Um, JRPGs were more about the story itself, and and to be honest, either even if they were to even Ultima on the NES and on the Master System, those were like American RPGs, and you would expect at least those RPGs would like make it big on console at least, right? But that was just not the case. The truth of the matter is that consoles were mostly for kids. No joke. When I really think about it, you know, it was just like my brother was just a couple of years older than me, and very, I was like when the Genesis and Super Nintendo hit, I wasn't even 10 years old yet. You know, so So like, oh, let me see if I'm going the right way. No, is that New Zealand? I guess I'm like in India right now. So if you really think about it, it's so kids. I'll be honest. They didn't care anything about JRPGs or RPGs in general. PC gamers back in the day, they were mainly like older teenagers or adults at this point. And with what the PC is able to do, or how it was structured back in the day, there was no way that that it was just structured in a way where RPGs of that caliber, they were so different, and it cost so much. Only an adult or or an older kid that had access to a PC would play a game like that. Um, and even then, they were also more complex. They were not. If you go back try to play Ultima, one, two, or three, you're gonna have a tough time understanding the mechanics. You have to keep track of your, kind of like this in a way, your alliances, who you uh, who you talk to, who are your allies, your stats. There's a lot more stats involved in there's a lot more stats involved in oh man, I hate when they do that. There's a lot more stats involved when there's a lot more stats involved in ultim in Ultima in the RPGs back in the day. So a kid first is not going to get involved. The action is very mundane. You see right now, like even in a JRPG, the action is very mundane. There's a little bit of animation, and everything's basically being told to you through text, right? I leveled up. I saw what was in there, and that was it. Like, here we go again. A troll appears. You see, it's all given to you. Bam, 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 bam. Right? There wasn't this neat little flow that a kid will understand. Now, kids, they were, for all intents and purposes, if you look at all the commercials that were all the video game commercials, like from Sega and Nintendo, they were being broadcast either early morning, right before school, or like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, like right after school. And I want to save my magic, but yeah, and of course there were like old games for older kids. Mortal Kombat's and it was marketed towards the teenagers and stuff. But that's what it was. It was mainly kids, and kids were not going to be able to understand RPGs, despite what Nintendo was trying to do. Nintendo really did try to push RPGs in a way. With the first few Final Fantasies on the on the SNES and the regular Nintendo, and then and then bringing out all those like Nintendo published Dragon Warrior, aka Dragon Quest themselves, like the first four, I think, thinking that was gonna hit big, but no, the preferences of kids back in the day, they were nothing like that. They were nothing like that. And I think it took a while for the kids, like us kids, when we finally got older, we could appreciate an RPG, especially with how the CD medium, allowed for things like orchestral music and FMV cutscenes, which better told the story. Yeah, yeah, we needed something like that to. We needed to grow up a little bit, and then have an experience like that. Trust me, I'm pretty sure RPGs would have caught on, but it didn't become mainstream until until something with FMV cutscenes showed up, and that's just the truth of the matter. All right. Uh, ah, for me personally, I saw RPGs firsthand with the first Fantasy Star, and I saw, firsthand the first Fantasy Star, then the second Fantasy Star, and it was very. I feel like there's something hidden in that pond. All right, I'll look at it at some point. All right, so I would see it firsthand, right? And at first, I remember being very confused. Like, I don't know what this thing was. A game, um, and it somehow seemed fascinating to me that these monsters keep on showing up, and you have to keep on fighting them, and then like your character gets stronger, and there's all these people you gotta talk to find out what's going on, and I and it seemed very intimidating. Like I've never. How do I even explain this? The idea, I said this in one of my videos, but the idea of actually, oh man, I thought we'll be able to hit him first. But let me repeat, the idea of saving the game, turning off the machine, then continuing again, but continuing again, and then talking to people and finding out what's going on, that seemed very, very intimidating. No joke. I did not know how to, how, I didn't know how to deal with that. I was like, how am I gonna beat this? How is this? I see my brother beat Fantasy Star 2, and I look badass, but I honestly didn't know what was going on. No, no, I didn't know what was going on. I'll be honest. I was like, this. Hold on. Let me see. All right. Gotta heal everyone. I should have bought more medical herbs. I'm trying to conserve. All right, but it was intimidating, right? I think when I got a little older, like in my preteens and teens, that I gave it a go. At first, well, the first Fantasy Star beat was Fantasy Star 2, and then I went back to play 1, and then I didn't get it. I couldn't find part 3, so then I started playing part 4, and then on the emulator, beat it, and then I went ahead and bought part 4 later. I wonder if I should have made Gretchen into okay. Okay. I know I bought part 4, and then I rebeat it again, and then I saw that there was all these translation errors. So after I got a Mega SD, I got the translation changed, and then I beat it here in front of you guys. Oh man, good times, good times. Okay, let's see. Got to remember that. Where did I go? Is it down here? There's nothing there. Oh, oh, this is where I got the sword. Man. I think because I played Fantasy Star first before any other RPG and seen it, I like I was geared more towards sci-fi's, sci-fi RPGs, you know? Oh hell. Oh, I gotta go after that ghost before it causes a Ooh. Wait. I. Yeah. You know what? I gotta give it a hold to Joseph. They've been going after him a lot. Ooh. Okay. All right. This is where I ended up, right? Not. I went to the right and got myself in a tunnel or something. So let me go down here. That's gonna take me back to that tunnel. Hold on. Oh, oh God! My medical herb supply. Okay. I wonder if I have to fall into any one of those holes. Well, there's no point. Just gonna take me back to the floor below. Oh man. Great, down to one. Oh boy. So where I'm at. If Final Fantasy never 7 never came out, yeah, that's all I got. It would have been a lot longer. I feel it would have come out later. Like the RPG craze would have come out later, but it would have been a slower kind of uptake. It wasn't until like Elder Scrolls and Fallout 3 that RPGs became something that it is today. But that the first JRPG really showed. American RPGs didn't hit its stride until Elder Scrolls uh, Oblivion. I know there was Morrowind on the Xbox, but that one was way too tame. I think it wasn't until the one on the 360 Oblivion that it really hit it with fans. You know, damn it, we'll have to man. Oh my god. I guess they want me to fall into that hole, right? Really? Oh, was I here before? No, no. Hold on. Better do some healing. Oh no, man. Great. Oh God. Oh my god! And that was because I was surprised. It was a surprise attack. All right, let's see. I was already here. All right, sorry, Nicholas. That's weird. Oh, finally. Okay. Oh man, great! I leveled up. Oh, thank God. How do I get there? I probably have to ride that Phoenix or something. Okay, okay. There's no way around, huh? Okay, well, I got the silver orb, so that's all that matters. Uh, whew, that was rough. So that's what that does. Hold on. Great. I don't know what to do next. I guess I have to wait. When I heard Thunder Sword, I thought it would have, you know, thundered. I should probably save. Okay, okay. Wow. I just got an advertisement for the FX Pack Pro, the very device I'm using right now to play Super Nintendo games. I wonder at what point did Nintendo just give up on this back in the day. Eventually, they would bring back, um, a lot of the Dragon Quest on DS and 3DS, but you know, they gave up. Like they were like, all right, we had enough of this. No one wants to buy RPGs, and then they never went through with it. Oh man. Well, there was this one time when Oh God, am I gonna make this into a video one day? Oh, I couldn't. You guys know I hated the PS2 for the longest time. I really did. Like, I really did hate the PS2, and it wasn't anything that the system itself did. It was the fact that I couldn't, for the longest time, bring myself to get one. Oh, it, after what happened to the Dreamcast, it really like like I back when the Genesis and Super Nintendo thing days were going on, I was rooting for Team Sega. That's the console I had, and it and that was it. I always saw it at that, but I never had hate for the Super Nintendo. My my best friend back in the day, he wanted this thing really badly, and and he would talk about it all the time, like all the time. But even then, that was just him. That's how he behaved, and he loved his Super Nintendo. I'm not gonna, there's nothing wrong with that. Props to him. He played, got something he enjoyed and played it. You know, and that was that. Like I never had any animosity towards the system or any of its fans. Um, but when it, but I always saw it as, what are these things for? Anyway, I never saw anything bad about it. I always thought that that's just the way it was, right? The Super Nintendo is awesome system, and it has different games. I always thought it has different games than what the Genesis has, and there's nothing wrong with that. Now, now, there was never any hate. However, when the PS2 was, this was even before the Dreamcast came out. When it was just hinted at of what it could do, everyone I would talk to claimed it was like this amazing piece of technology that this amazing piece of technology that that's going to revolutionize everything. It's much better than whatever's out there. And that was that. I I thought, all right, well, let's just talk. It's just talk, right? And when it finally came out, I didn't really think much of it, right? I was like, okay, well, the games look a little bit better in some aspects. Some of these games, they're kind of basic. They're not really. There wasn't that wow factor. This is the center, right? Well, there's definitely got to be something there. This is supposed to do something. Anyway, when I was first, I didn't really, I thought it was all talk because nothing could really do Pixar graphics. Those machines are like, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions even. So that was it. That was like, yeah, nothing. The the Dreamcast would be fine, but it wasn't fine. Where did I park? Over here. There I am. All I could really do is just wait for that town to get built, right? So, no joke, I thought that the Dreamcast would be fine because I had like the better games, right? And then like, oh god, and then that happened. The Dreamcast like didn't get didn't what was discontinued. It really did bum me out. It took a it took a while for me to get over that. I have a video on it, but trust me, it sucked. It really did suck. As a longtime Sega fan, it sucked. When when I finally got a job and I want to play these games and all the first system I bought when I got my job was a GameCube. You know, I followed where Sonic went in and Sonic first came out on Nintendo, which made sense because it's a kid thing, right? You know, Sonic's always been for the kids. That should be the target demographic. And that's that. But and that's that. And then like oh no, the first no, yeah. Before then, I got an Xbox, original Xbox, but that was a partial gift and partial me paying for it. But that's a whole nother story. And I avoided the PS2 like the plague. I was like, I don't want to have anything to do with this system. It sucks. I haven't even played the games that I call it like it sucks, right? Yeah, and believe it or not, it took a while for me to actually bring myself to get one. I was like, I don't want to deal with this system. The thing was, is it had good games on there, games that I really wanted to play, and I just refused. And I was robbing myself of these experiences just because I had a grudge on what happened to the Dreamcast. Oh man. Oh, it just confuses one enemy. Ah. What was it? It was after a while. I would say So what was the thing? Well, I want to say several things. First, I there are a bunch of games coming out, especially fighters, Guilty Gear, Guilty Gear and stuff. But there was also JRPGs. Now, that might have been the biggest motivating factor for me to get a PS2. I should probably make a separate video on this so I could get my thoughts together. But I was robbing myself of these great experiences if I didn't. If I went ahead and did nothing, left it at that, I wouldn't be playing any JRPGs. I wouldn't be playing like the Street Fighter Alpha anthologies if I didn't do it. So I was really thinking about it. I really was thinking about it, and this was back when I guess the economy was better. Hold on. But I guess this was back when the economy was doing better, and there was all these sales. The PS2, GameCube, and Xbox would occasionally have like a sale, like 75 or $100 off sometimes. And this was an occasion when I should just keep on floating around here. And this was an occasion when I don't know when. Well, I gotta look it up, but it was when it was included with the network adapter. They started including with the network adapter and the ATV game, and that unit that um, went on sale and went on sale. Uh, for like I think it was on sale for like $150. I'm not sure if there was a price cut yet or not, but I think it was like $150. And I was looking at it. I was like, maybe I should get it. Maybe I should get it. But it was in my mind. So maybe I should wait some more. Perhaps let me see what other games I could get. And what else was also pushing me was the fact that my PS1 died. Right, I couldn't play my PlayStation 1 games anymore because they were all like, you know, it just stopped reading the discs. I wish I would have kept that unit so I could like got an ODE later on, but I did not know anything about the ODEs. My cousin wanted it, so I gave it to him or sold it to him or something. I forget what. But honestly, I I had no way to play my PlayStation 1 games, and with the PS2 being backwards compatible and on all this stuff, I was like, well, it'll probably be a smart idea if I get one. So, what harm could come of me getting a uh, a PlayStation 2, right? But to me, that was still a lot of money, and I think eventually, forgot what. Huh. I wonder okay. All right. Anyway, anyway, I finally got the PlayStation 2. Sure, I still had the receipt until recently, but it faded away. But well, maybe I could get a. I already got that. Oh, definitely doing everything out of order. Anyway, it came one night. There was a bunny girl. Shake that. Okay, well, this. Sorry, I'm enjoying myself looking at. That's funny. Okay, it came to a head this one night. At some point, I at some point I was closing this one shift, right? And I was looking at this PlayStation 2 and I was figuring out should I get it or not. At the same time, my boss was a bit of a frantic pace because we are almost making sales, right? We were like, I think, a couple of $100 short from reaching the day's goal. And she was she was going around asking the team members. We were already closed at this point, but she was going around asking the team members if they have shopping to do, if they have something they want to pick up or whatever, to to uh, to go ahead and get it right now. She's gonna leave the registers open for X amount of time, and a lot of and a lot of people did do that, but a lot of people did buy some extra stuff. Well, but for me, I wasn't really thinking about anything, right? I was just there to finish my shift, and my boss like asks if uh asked if I was gonna get something because she caught me eyeing the PlayStation 2 like all week, I guess. And and she says, and she asked me, "Am I gonna get anything? Do you plan to get it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I might get I might get the PlayStation 2, but I don't know. I think I should wait a little while." And this was on sale, by the way. I think it was like $199 at the time, and we were having to sell for like $149, I think. And she told me, um, I'll take off another 10% off the total. You know what? I don't. Huh. And with that plus my team my discount, I think I dropped it down to like a ridiculously low level, like just above $100, somewhere north of $100, less than 130, I think, somewhere around there. So I got it like a little cheaper than usual, and that was great. I uh I got a new system, and my mom was so pissed at me when I brought it home too, because oh, you got another machine, this and that. Oh, but this is a PlayStation, and and I didn't get any games for like a while because I still didn't know what was out there. I was thinking about getting CVS 2, but um, I I was eyeing the Japanese Dreamcast version for a while. Oh no, I got already had it on the Xbox. That's right. And I'm gonna let one more day pass, and then I'm gonna go check up on the town again. Actually, us. So anyway, I was just playing Duke Nukem Total Meltdown and Mortal Kombat Trilogy, which I later discovered Mortal Kombat Trilogy glitches out at the end. Like you can't like Shao Kahn's combat then wouldn't work. I'm like, oh, this sucks. uh, it's like, oh yeah, this really sucks. It's terrible, terrible. Oh man, it was funny though. You know, it was a fun time. And then when all the greatest hits started to show up, like half of my PlayStation 2 games are greatest hits because but my store we would get greatest hits and then like 1 week later they'll drop the price down to like you know 15 $10. I'm like I cannot say no to that. I cannot say no to an experience for $10. I bought Final Fantasy X uh, and 10-2 um, very cheaply, like less than 20. And then games would always go on clearance. Oh man, it was so different back then too. Okay, I guess I need more time. Man, it was very different. I look at the industry now. It sucks, really. I'm trying to think of like how can I like there's like when everything went digital, I'm not finding any deals at all. Past one more day. When yeah, there was like no, it was terrible, guys. I'm not gonna lie, it was very terrible. I wanted it, and this was a gradual thing too. I would say the Xbox 360 generation was the last time that store had any kind like any significant gaming presence. You go there now um, and there's hardly anything. You know, unless you're into Nintendo, you're not gonna find much. it, it's and the thing was is that like I couldn't really like man. Okay, well, first I'm gonna go off and say that I do not. I don't. I'm not gonna be like this old guy saying that back then was better, but in a lot of ways it. In a lot of ways, I miss it. Every so often, when I would come to the store, I would head like every Friday or Wednesday or Friday. I would like make a beeline towards the video game section to see if they have anything new. Oh, awesome. Let's see. No. I already went to Lancel. Okay. Gonna make another day pass by. Have to keep on continually checking on this thing. So, wait. Never should wait. Hold on. Did that work? Okay. Well, like I would go every Friday, right? Every Friday there'll be something new. I'll check it up. There was a release. There was a release list that we would get, and I would check it out, and I could see all the new games coming out, and being excited for it. There was this one time when there was this one time when I was simply like I would like get first dibs, right? I would get first dibs on a lot of these games, and I would see what games were going to end up being on clearance. And where I lived, you know, the people that were around, they didn't really care for some of these titles. Advanced Guardian Heroes, Gunstar Superheroes, some of the Final Fantasy games, uh, in what other games? You know, the Metroid games, F Zero, all these Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, all these games from the Xbox, GameCube, and PlayStation 2. These games were consistently going on clearance or having like platinum or or greatest hits editions show up. So so it was like my own personal store, and I would just like wait and buy these games. And oh man, I got a front mission. Front mission was what was a game I bought? East, well, Narc and Nepeshtim. That those games they were awesome to me. I was like I can't believe how these games are being overlooked and stuff. Oh, okay. There we go. Okay, gonna wait on one more day. Okay, and this kind of continued on up until the 360 and PS3. Then oh, I already started dating and stuff, so my attention was kind of like elsewhere for a lot of it. um, you know, all my I wish I would have paid more attention, but it was very eye opening, right? Um, and it just kind of sucked. It like, and then like when I got back into gaming a little bit more, especially retro gaming, man, I missed out on a lot of stuff. I couldn't for the life of me understand why things start to gradually change. Um, the whole thing with online, like I had a 360, and the games that were being sold on the Xbox Live Arcade were usually small, not too bloaty. They were just small games. You like arcade titles. Xbox Live Arcade, just how it says, games could beat relatively quickly. But then the they started selling full games on there, and that kind of concerned me, really, right? Because it took away from the experience of going to the store, picking up some, holding an actual physical object in your hand. And the fact that it's not there, it's just like, uh, hurry up, Gretchen. Oh man, a lot has changed, man. It's probably one of the reasons why I like retro gaming so much. It's the fact that there is a physical option, uh, item. Even though I'm using a flash card, these flash cards are object of a. They're convenient. They're very convenient. Oh wait, sun's out. Let's see. Uh, actually, man. Oh. uh, Yes, I guess that thing is Zen is only meant to. Alright, I see what it is. Okay, well, hold on, guys. All right, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go ahead and. All right. I feel like I want to play through this again, but with like a different set of different kind of party members and stuff. I wonder if you have to keep on checking up on it. Okay, so yeah. Oh man, how long do I have to wait for this thing to be built properly? Mannyberg. Oh my god, how long has it been? Ah, hell, I'm just gonna. I I was really hoping for that town to be ready by now, but it's taking far longer. It's like I check every time the day passes. Well, I guess I'm not gonna have a choice. I really don't want to start grinding just to spend time. Here, I'll go look at that poison pool, see if I can find if there's anything in there. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna end the stream there. I'll, because if all it is, it's just me me grinding. It's not gonna look. It's not very good. I'll check it back again later to see if the thing works. The town's up. Mannyberg. Oh boy. Take care, guys. I'll try to stream later.